Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about how to use the reverse lookup technique to look up the column head given a unique value inside a table. This technique is mostly used in extracting feature, which is the column head. Let's say if we have a specific condition, G, and I want to know which feature it represents. When we pick G, it returns column 2. Alright, that's what you see in the yellow cell. Okay, so before that, you can download this Excel file in the link down in the description. Let me Control F3 to bring up the name manager. Basically, what I did in the Excel file is to name all these shortcuts so that it makes the formula easier to grasp. Alright, let's begin. Before we begin, let's take a look at the structure. If you notice, we use the index formula here to grab the column head. We skip the row and we only focus on the column area because we are going to grab the column from this one, this one, this one, and this one. What we are going to do is to use the aggregate function to extract the largest value when the condition is met. So in our condition, we are starting from the target text, letter M, and we trace back to the column head and we should get column 3. In the condition, it's going to return an array like this. So you see the M, which is on the rightmost column, counting from top to the bottom, the third one. So you see M here and a 1 here. The large function, which is the letter 14, is extracting the 1 among all these zeros. Because when you compare 0 and 1, the larger one is always 1. So when you have the condition, you have the 1, you multiply by the column condition. And the column condition is just returning the column number of the reference column, column 1, column 2, column 3, comparing to cell C5, which is right before the first column, D5. Alright? So when you multiply the condition and the column condition, you're going to have number 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So that you know which number of the column will give you the answer. Then we need the value K, which you see in the column starts counting from E5 all the way to the right. You are looking for the answer in the table headers from the left to the right. Alright? That's the overview of the whole formula. Here, let me do index. We use the index formula that's just like the array and the row and the column. That's the basic structure of an index formula. So let me just enter. Like this. In the array, we are going to put in the range of cells that contains the answer that we are looking for. Okay. So let me just replace the array with all the column head. And then for the row, because we are looking for the column here, so we can just skip it. That means you are skipping the row, alright? And for the column, let me just enter. We are going to replace the column with the aggregate function. Then for the first parameter, which is the function number, we are going to put 14. So what is 14? 14 is large, right? Just like we mentioned before, we are going to extract a larger number of the array that we are going to define later. Okay, then comma. For the option, we are going to put 4, which is ignore nothing. That means we are going to extract everything in the condition that we are going to talk about. Comma. Then for the array inside the aggregate function, let me put a bracket first. Inside the bracket, we are going to have 2 parts. The first part is the condition. I just put condition because I defined condition before, where you see that the red square highlights all the data inside the table. That's the table 1. If you haven't defined the condition, then you can just highlight everything. Table 1 equals the target text. Alright? So for simplicity, I just use condition. Okay, too far away. Let me just zoom in. Okay, and then the second part is the columns condition, which has 2 column minus 2. the difference between these two columns, where the first column is all the column headers, because you are going to return the number of this column. Actually, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, right? For column D5, you're going to get 4, but what we want is 1. That's why we need to minus the column value of the previous cell, which is C5. And remember, we have to log C5 because we need to get 4 minus 3, 5 minus 3, 6 minus 3, 7 minus 3. Okay, so for C5, we have to put F4 to log it. Okay, now this part, I defined it before. That's why, let me just grab everything. Call this the column condition. You see the purple color. All right, outside this part, the array, we put comma, we are going to do K. What the K means is the rolling of column. Just enter, and we are going to do columns, and it's going to return, let's say if I put columns D5, and then log it, that means you will get 1, right? If you put a colon and then you do D5 again, that means you can scroll this green cell all the way to the right. But here, I'm going to log the number 5, just put a $sign. I want to log the whole row so that you only change the column name. So it's D5, D5, which is 1, and D5, E5, which is 2, D5, F5, which is 3. Let me just do... Nope. So we get column 2 here, right? Why is it column 2? Because for the target text G, I'm going to return column 2. Let me change the target text to C, and then you will see column 1 here. Because for value C, if you trace all the way up to the column head, you will get column 1. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to apply the same technique for the row. Hopefully it helps. Thank you, bye-bye.